Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Today's Friday, July 21st. It is 6:16 right now. Market's gonna open in about 14 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a couple things here to update and we should be good to go. All right. All right, a few more things here. Good. One more thing. And I think we are good to go. Like one last thing, what am I missing? All right, looks like we're good to go. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right, we'll get a few moments for people to make their way in. And we will get started shortly. All right, solid. Morning, everybody. Today's Friday, July 21st. Happy Friday, everyone. It is 6:19 right now. Market's going to open in about 11 minutes. So it looks like a lot of you guys are making your way in still. So I'll just give it a few more moments and then I'll start marking up liquidity for today. So let's see who's here so far. Morning, Van Hartwig. Morning, Vince. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Patricia. Morning, Søren. Morning, Karen. Morning, James. Morning, Kenny. Morning, everybody. Let's start off by marking up liquidity over here. I'm gonna go over to the daily time frame. I'm gonna mark up liquidity using my high-low indicator. Price pushed up a lot. If you guys looked at sentiment yesterday, sentiment was up 80%, which is pretty crazy for a summer market. We have to go even higher to the weekly because the daily is pretty much, there's no more daily zones available on the top side. A lot of zones down below, but I mean, we'll see how relevant that is as you know, we continue on with this market. Right. Yeah, there's like no more top liquidity, not even a lower time frame. So I don't even know if we'll get a liquidity push this morning at all, because all the top liquidity has been wiped out pre-market and during Asia session, which is, I mean, it's pretty crazy to get that much volatility, especially when there's not really much news going on. There's not too much going on that's really causing price to go up. It's all kind of just going on behind the scenes. There is news that's been going on this week, but not necessarily anything that's too high impact. I'm kind of excited to see what happens when the presidential election starts to go into full swing, because when it goes into full swing, you know, a lot of these candidates like Trump, especially if he runs for president again, it's going to be saying a lot of crazy stuff. So it's going to cause the market to really be very, very volatile. It's going to be kind of similar to how it was during COVID. Not the same, but very similar. So I'm kind of curious to see how the market will move next year. I think next year is going to be a pretty exciting year to trade, especially for us. I mean, if you know how to trade, you know, the way that we do, the markets are actually pretty fun when the market is volatile. Some people don't like volatile markets because it's very risky to be trading, especially when there's a lot of changes in market conditions. But, you know, we've been doing this for a long time, so we're able to adjust with those market conditions pretty quickly. So I'm pretty excited to see what happens in the next year or so in these markets. All right, so other than that, guys, I've marked up liquidity. As you guys can see, liquidity is pretty far from where price is currently at. Actually, it's not that far. The weekly is pretty close. It's about 600 pips away. So we might get a liquidity push today. I wasn't expecting the weekly liquidity to be that close, but it's pretty close. Bottom liquidity is about 1,000 pips away. So, I mean, there's opportunity there. Obviously, I'll be looking for possible buys, but I mean, we'll see if price does come back down. Other than that, let's take a look at the chat again and see who else is here. Hey, Kevin, morning. Morning, Talanji. Morning, Maria. Morning, everybody. Morning, Crystal. Yeah, Maddie said a weekly high is the all-time high. Yeah, it's pretty high from where it's currently at. So let's take a look at the news real quick. So for this morning, Friday, July 21st, there was no news this morning. Actually, a big push to the upside, but no news this morning. Pretty crazy. Yeah, there's nothing there's like literally no news today. So let's just go ahead and take a look at the overall bias real quick, and we'll just mark that up. But surprisingly, there was no news. I was going to trade the 1 hour entry at 5 o'clock. I really should have, because there was no news. I thought there was news, so I just kind of went back to sleep. But the 1 hour entry here played out perfect. It literally went straight up. Right there. So if you guys saw the 1 hour entry right there, it went straight up. The 6 hour entry as well, which was right here, I think. Yeah, the 6 hour entry over here also a TP. So the 5 hour entry and the 6 hour entry both hit full TP if you guys are taking the 1 hour entry. I thought there was news this morning. I don't know why I suspected news, because typically on Friday there is news, but I mean, I just didn't take it. I should have taken the 5 a.m. Let's see, Madhu said, even though, I'm gonna check 1 hour. So actually there was no entry. I take that back, guys, sorry. I didn't realize there was a sell signal right here. So yeah, there was actually no entry there, guys, because there was a sell signal right here at 4 o'clock. Yeah, the 5 o'clock candle right here did push up, but there's no buy signal. So, I mean, there's different ways of applying the 1 hour entry. If you're applying it the way that I apply it, I make sure that the 1 hour is aligned. A lot of people just go off the 1 minute. So there's some people who trade the 1 hour strategy. They go off the 1 hour trend and 1 minute momentum. For me, I take it up another step. I go over the 1 hour trend, 1 hour momentum, which wasn't here, and then also 1 minute momentum. So, I mean, depending on how you apply it, if you apply it the way that Maddie applies it, this is how he would apply it. He typically doesn't go off the 1 hour entry, off the 1 hour momentum. He just goes off the 1 minute. So it's a good and a bad thing. It's a good thing because you'll have more entries. It's a bad thing because you'll be eating up more losses, and you'll be over trading because you're really taking low quality trades if you're only going off 1 hour momentum. But I mean, they still work. So it just kind of depends on like how you apply it. So I think Maddie and Gian, they kind of apply it this way, just off the 1 minute. For me, I take it up another step. I go on the 1 hour and I make sure that the bullish momentum is there as well. So that is pretty much it for right now. Let's see if there's anything over here. Let's take a look at the overall bias. So today's overall bias, retail sentiment. Retail sentiment is bullish right now. It's about like set plus it's 77. Well, with 77% short. Fundamentals are also bullish, of course. It is plus 100 points. Shannon, morning. Short-term technicals. I'm just gonna take a guess, and I'm gonna say it's bullish. I'm pretty sure it's bullish, but we'll take a look. Long-term technicals, also bullish. So I'm pretty sure everything here is bullish. I'll go ahead and review everything. So let's take a look at retail sentiment. Retail sentiment is currently 77% short. It indicates that 77% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So we typically want to do the opposite and buy. So we do have a bullish bias here for retail sentiment. Looking over here at the fundamentals, fundamentals are currently, they're up 83 points right now. They were up 100 earlier, but now they're up 80. So I'll just put 80 right here. We'll put bullish neutral, but I mean, for the most part, it's still bullish. It just came down slightly in the past, 10 minutes or so. Looking over here at the technicals now. So technicals over here are obviously bullish on the short term, 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, same on the 30 minute, 1 hour and 4 hour time frames. You can see that pretty much on all time frames here, price is above the pivots, trend meter is green, pivots are angling up. The 1 minute here is the only one that's shifting, but everything else is still bullish. So with that said, we have a bullish bias overall for today. We have bullish retail sentiment, bullish fundamentals, bullish short-term, bullish long-term, everything's bullish. This is a good thing and it's a bad thing. It's a bad thing because everything's one-sided. So it's going to make it difficult for us to just take buys because a lot of manipulation can happen in both directions, right? Because they're not just going to let you win. You can't just take a buy and automatically win. I mean, you could have done that pre-market over here, but now that price is overextended, it needs to come down a little bit. So what I'm expecting is I'm expecting price to come down slightly, maybe come down a bit and then come back up. So I actually want price to push down. I want price to push down as far as possible so that we can catch the correction back to the upside. We know that price is supposed to be bullish today, right? So, and with that said, we're gonna have to wait anyways to closer to 7. Market's gonna open in about 50 seconds. We're at the 29-minute mark. Market's opening in about a few minutes or a few seconds actually. And we'll see how market reacts to this crazy movement here because price pushed up a lot. So from this lower area right here, price pushed up about 1,300 pips. You guys already know my overextension point, 1,000. So you can see over here, price pushed up 1,000, started consolidating. Now it's reversing back down. So now it is just it's just a waiting game. Hey, Kevin, morning. Morning, CJ, morning, everybody. All right, guys, market is opening in 15 seconds. We got 10 seconds. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Market is now open. We go to markup opening price over here. So you can see price is just retracing down a bit. Trying to mark it up. So there goes opening price right there. Here is the clean chart. I'll mark up structure in a little bit. So there goes. So as you guys can see, price is very indecisive. You guys can see price just keeps bouncing back and forth. That's normal. We want price to come down a bit and we'll catch the correction back to the upside. Overall bias over here is very bullish. So if you guys are really looking for entry here, maybe look for a V1 variation because if price drops a bit, it's going to correct back to opening price, of course, right? So you might want to look out for the you might want to look out for the reversal. So, I mean, any V1 variation is probably going to set up for correction back to the upside. I wouldn't necessarily bank on it, but, that's something to look out for if price does swing around. So Maddie just mentioned that sentiment changed to 76. Yeah, so sellers dropped off a little bit. Looks like some people just pulled out. They may have recouped some of their losses right there, and they just cut out for a smaller loss for whoever was chasing the sell earlier. So there's no double body here. This might be a V2 variation. It's a strong green candle, possibly a V2 variation, but there's no double body, no double wick. No specific entry for there. And you can see price is coming back to opening price right there. Right back at open. So we just got to be patient, guys. Just got to be patient and wait for some confirmation here. But it looks like this might be a V2 variation if it ends up closing as a a strong green candle. It's kind of risky. This candle's pretty big. I'm not taking this position, just following it. So yeah, I don't know if this would be a V2 variation because there's a wick on top. If there was no wick on top, it'd possibly be a V2 variation. I mean, it just depends. Like the V2 variation, I don't like very much because it's subjective. You have to determine whether it's a strong candle or not. If you look at the top wick here, it's pretty much the same size as the bottom wick. So I would consider this a very strong green candle. There'd have to be like no wick here, or there'd have to be a bigger wick on the bottom. As price continues to move around here, once it stabilizes a bit, guys, or actually I can just do this now. I'll just start marking up the whole numbers so that we have an idea how volatility is moving. Because we just want to make sure that these levels are getting touched pretty often. Because that's the key thing here. If they're getting touched pretty often, then that means that we're going to be able to take these momentum pullback scalps pretty easily. This price would just come down, fill our order, and then continue pushing, right? So again, it's just a matter of time until we have a stabilized market. We can start looking for momentum pullback scalps. All right, so we got there's liquidity on both sides, but liquidity has not gotten hit yet. I'd probably be careful with this lower liquidity. Actually, no, lower liquidity should be okay, maybe. No, I would be careful about the lower liquidity because the thing here is if price does drop a little bit, a lot of people who are on the sell side, they're going to try to get out of their sells, right? Whoever is like trapped in these sells right here, they're going to try to get out. So if price gets down to this lower level of liquidity, people are going to sell off. They're going to basically get rid of their sell positions. And if they get rid of their sell positions, it's just going to push price right back up. So, I mean, if you guys want to take this, probably go for 100 pips. What you want to look for here, if you're looking for the sell, is you want to wait for some consolidation right here. Because you want people to be thinking, right? And then once it comes down, make your entry. You definitely don't want to take it if it just goes straight down. If you go straight down like that, you definitely don't want to take it because it's probably going to fake out and go right back up. That's probably what's going to happen. It's going to be a fake out. Because I see this lower level right here is it's identified as liquidity, but it's also going to be identified as the opposite because the thing is there's so many people on the sell side, right? You typically want liquidity where there's a lot of people sitting. So if people are sitting on the sell, you want liquidity from the top side. And the thing is the liquidity from the top side is pretty far off. It's at that weekly, it's basically at the all-time high. So if it gets to this point, this is one that I would actually mess with because I want to see all these people get stopped out. There's not that many people on the buy side right here. So if price does get down that low, people are probably going to get rid of their sell positions. Because you think about it, I mean, people are probably in some massive drawdown. People who are holding on to their sells from basically Sunday, it's crazy. Like, it's just crazy how people are holding on to the positions because you think about it, like, look at this right here. Sentiment's been like 70% since Sunday or like since last week, right? Since like Thursday. So everybody who basically sold right here on Thursday or Wednesday, prices never came down to their entry point. So if they enter down here, they're in some massive drawdown. And I can tell, like, if you've ever been in massive drawdown before, you're kind of just praying for price to come down a little bit at least, so that you can cut your losses, right? But you can see whoever was swing trading from this point over here, like, man, they're like almost in 10,000 pip drawdown. And if they held since like last week, it's crazy. I mean, it is what it is, but we'll have to follow along. So there was another V1 variation here, guys, that just came up. I totally missed it. This is a pattern that I was just telling you guys about. There's double body right there. It would have been a straight to full TP win right there if you guys took it. Fortunately, I didn't catch it, but it's all good. If anybody caught it, looks like it could have been good. There is a pivot scalp right here that's setting up too. Yeah, Maddie said he tried to enter, but he missed it. It happened too quickly. I would have taken that one though if I saw it, but it's okay. I'm not going to take a pivot scalp here though, because price is just, it's in an area where you can't really trade it. A lot of red flags. You can see there's a sessions right there. Just going to wait for the market to stabilize a little bit, and I'll start looking for some momentum pullback scalps. So I do want some buy signals here to come up. Once we get that, we can start looking for a continuation to the upside. All right, 6:38. It's getting closer and closer to 7 o'clock. Around 6:45, if the market starts to stabilize a bit and it starts to move like at least smoother, then we can start looking for some possible momentum pullback scalps. Right now, just nothing on. Pending buy signal right here, 6:38. All right, so if we get a buy signal here and price pushes up a bit higher, then we can maybe look for a momentum pullback scalp along the way. So I'll just mark this up over here. All right, so price is pushing up right now. Let me go ahead and mark up structure real quick here on the clean chart so that you guys have a better idea as to where price is going. We have a higher high right there. Lower low right there. Possible higher high right there. All right, so as you guys can see, the market is very choppy right now. I would not take the entry if it comes down to this lower area. It's too risky where price is currently at right now. I would wait for price to push up a bit higher. It's probably going to give a sell signal right now if it continues to drop lower. So this is why we wait till 7 o'clock usually, or at least past 6:45. It's 6:40 right now. It's still a little early, but you can see that the market is still moving a bit erratic. This is normal. It's market open movement. So we'll see if this continues to push through. So technically the entry would be down here. If you were looking to take it before 7, like technically the entry, I wouldn't take this entry, but I just want to show you guys, this is where the entry would happen. So we'll follow it and we'll see where this, where this, and I'm not in this position though, guys. It's still too early. It's 6:40 right now. So the earliest time I'll take it is 6:45, somewhere around there, closer to 7. But some people do like to take these trades early on. So this would technically be the entry for the buy. If you were looking for entry here. So I'll see if it plays out. If this here plays out, which it probably will, we would have to wait for another buy signal. So we can't use this buy signal if this one here hits, which it looks like it's about to hit right now. So I'm following it just for, and if we get a sell signal here, that's fine too. The trade basically gets canceled out. But you can see right there, it's pushing up. It's probably gonna hit TP. The volatility is just not there. It's kind of annoying when the entry comes up, the volatility dies down. Usually these entries only run for about a minute, 2 minutes max. This one looks like it might run for about 3 minutes or so, because it doesn't really have much push behind the movement here. So again, guys, just a reminder, I'm not in this position. I'm just using this as a markup so we can see if this momentum signal has been finished, which I mean, it already is. We can't use this momentum signal anymore because technically the entry already filled. I only take one entry per momentum. So I'd have to wait for a sell signal to come up, then another buy signal. And then from there, I'll be looking for entry. So one of two things will happen. Either this will hit TP or we get a sell signal. Either way, it's going to invalidate this momentum right here. So this is why you don't want to take trades until after 7 or closer to 7. Daniel's asking, don't you need a bullish trend? Yeah, well, earlier it was green when it was at this area over here, and then it just kind of changed. So it was shifting between green and blue right here, and price was technically above the, I mean, it was like right between the pivots, but you do need a bullish trend. So that's why I wouldn't have taken the trade there again. So again, like what Daniel mentioned, over here was where the entry came up. And that's why I wouldn't have taken the trade here. Well, actually, you're right, Daniel. We wouldn't have taken it here because it was red. I thought it was green earlier, but generally, if you're going to take the entry here, you need price to be somewhere above this area because there's no way the trend's going to be bullish if it's in between or below, right? Price needs to be above the pivots, trend meter needs to be green, pivots needs to be angling up. So prior to this right here, you can see that right here, it was a little bit bullish, right? Price was above the pivots were angling up. The trend meter was blue, it wasn't green, but it could have shifted to green if it ended up bouncing back up. However, when price came back down lower to this point right here, that's where we wouldn't have taken it, obviously. So yeah, I wouldn't have taken the trade there regardless, because it was before 7. Also, there's no bullish trend. You need like a stronger bullish trend here for you to take entry. So there's just a lot of reasons why we wouldn't have taken the trade. Basically, we need price to be somewhere above this area right here. So we need something like this to play out. We need price to push up higher. We need to retrace down here and continue pushing. Once we get that right there, that's where our entry should be. Around this area over here, because price will be slightly above, well, not slightly, it'll be very above the pivots here. Price is now below and the trend is starting to shift to a sell. If this is the case, we can technically look for sells here. I don't know if I'd be comfortable taking a sell here, but you know, we'll follow along. The thing is, the sells might be okay because the overall bias is so strong for a buy. So I'll follow the sell entries. If we do get a sell entry that comes up, I'll follow it. I won't necessarily take it. If I do take it, I'll let you guys know so that you guys have a heads up. But I mean, it looks like there may be opportunity here for at least one sell entry. Also, because price is coming back down to the lower liquidity right here. So let's take a look at, yeah, it's getting really close to that lower level of liquidity. And I think sentiment's also dropping as well. You just want to be careful because this could be another trap. 77% short. I mean, it's not really changing too much. I could see a lot of people maybe pulling out of the position sometime soon. Liquidity down below just got hit, guys. I'm not in this position here. If you guys want to take it, I'd probably only go for 100 pips. Because it's also looking a bit overextended here as well. So from this top point right here to here, price is well over 1,000 pips. So it's definitely overextended. You can see the fake out here might play out like we mentioned earlier. It looks like that might be the case. But yeah, it's way overextended. It's down 1,000 pips. See, Crystal said she took the sell signal. Nice. That'd be considered a pivot scalp entry if you're just going off the 1 minute. All right, so if you guys went for 100 pips, looks like it hit TP right here. I'd be careful. If you guys are in the position, I'd pull out for profit because right now price is kind of in a iffy area. There's another level of liquidity right here. I think this is the, I mean, I don't even know what level this is, but it's like super overextended. So if you just measure from this area up here, it's now currently down 1,300 pips. So it might retrace up a little bit, maybe make its way back down later. But let's see if there's any entries here for the momentum pullback scalps. So we basically would need a sell signal here. I mean, we would need to buy a green candle. So we need a green candle. If price swings back to any of these areas over here, it'll probably come right back down. So if we get a green candle for that retracement, it'll probably drop down further. And the next level of liquidity got hit. So price is dumping pretty hard right now. I again wouldn't chase the sells here yet because price is overextended. So both of my levels of liquidity here just got hit, both to full TP. If you guys caught it, great. It's just too risky for me to take these sells here. I was kind of tempted to take this next level. If price retraced up a little bit, I wanted it to retrace up and then provide a continuation to the downside. If we had that, then I would have chased it down. But this right here is just, it's way too far of a drop. I think price will correct back up eventually. Let's look at sentiment. Sentiment's still very high. So I think what they're doing here is they're just dropping price down and then price is going to shoot all the way back up because the same people who are chasing this are going to get faked out. They're basically luring in some more sellers. And you can see right here a huge wave. So they basically lured in a bunch of sellers. And now it looks like eventually price will swing all the way back up to stop everybody out because people are going to keep stacking onto those sells. So we do have a sell direction right here with regard to trend and momentum. There's technically opportunity here for an entry for a sell. Again, I don't know if I would take it. I think sells here are just a little too risky in my opinion. I mean, I'll follow it, but I'm probably not going to take the sell here. Like the bias is so strong for a buy that I think price is going to correct back up eventually. The last thing I want to do is take a sell here and then price corrects all the way back up as soon as I take that entry. So what I'll do here is I'll mark this up. We currently have a sell direction right here with momentum and trend. We have a retracement signal right here. Technically, the entry would be right here if this candle does close. I'm not going to take this entry. I'll just follow it because we do want to see if these entries are still hitting. But I think this is going to be, it's going to be too risky of an entry. So entry would technically be right here. So I'm not in this position. We're just following it. But if price does come right here, this is technically the entry point for the sell. This price is down below. So it never filled. Yeah, the volatility right now is kind of dying down too. See, this is tricky because price can really go in either direction. So for example, right here, price could easily come back down because a lot of people are trying to catch the dip, right? So I mean, price can really go in either direction. People are trying to catch the dip. Some people are trying to chase the sell. This trade right here technically filled. I'm not in the position. We're just following to see. And right there, we get a buy signal. So if the buy signal closes, this trade would technically have to be closed for a partial loss. But you guys can see how erratic the market is right now. This is why we typically wait until 7 o'clock. It's 6:50 right now, so we still have 10 minutes till 7. Around 7 o'clock is when the market starts to stabilize. So right now, the market is still bouncing back and forth very erratically. It's just that it's the initial market open move. And then as we get closer to 7 o'clock, the market will start to stabilize and it'll choose its direction. Right now, it hasn't chosen its direction. I think the direction is still going to be bullish for the day. But, you know, obviously we'll have to wait and see as we get closer to 7 o'clock. Yeah, so it looks like this one's going to hit TP. Yeah, it did. So if you guys took the sell there, it went straight to TP. Price pulled back a little bit for some retracement, and then it shot all the way back down at TP. So as you guys can see, the strategy works great. You don't have to be stuck in one position. Even if bias is bullish, you can still take the sells if price comes down below and provides a sell direction. So the entry right here would hit TP. Price retraced up, filled TP right there, went for a slight retracement, and then it just went straight down to CP. So as you guys can see, strategy works perfectly fine. It just lined up perfectly. I just didn't take it because it's just too risky of an entry. I got to stick to my game plan. And, you know, if the entry looks really good before 7, I'll take it. But I need to stick to 7 o'clock because 7 o'clock is usually where the market starts to confirm its direction and starts to like actually stabilize. So let me go ahead and mark up the structure down here so that you guys can see where price may likely go at this point. All right, so price has already retested opening price right there. As you guys can see from this point, price is now establishing a new range. So this is a new range down below. If this is the case and price stays down below this area, then that's completely fine. We can continue looking for sells here. We don't have to stick to one position or one direction. We can just continue trading in whatever direction price wants to go. Hey, John, how's it going? Morning. All right, let's take a look at sentiment. Sentiment's starting to drop. You can see that it's at 76%. This is people closing out with partial loss or partial profit. I mean, just depending on where people are making their entries from. But you can see the number here is starting to drop a little bit because people are pulling out of their sells. Let's take a look at the fundamentals. Fundamentals are now bearish. We'll just put neutral at 10 points. Short-term technicals are now bearish. You can see over here from the 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute time frame. This is what we like. So we actually want price to be mixed. We don't want price to be one-sided, right? The short-term technicals are bearish, fundamentals are neutral, long-term technicals are still bullish. They're more of a bullish neutral now. So this is good. I like when there's a mix here because we can trade in both directions. We don't have to be scared to take sells here. We don't have to be scared to take buys. We can really trade in either direction. It's 6:53 right now. So in about 7 minutes, we are going to start looking for some entries here for the momentum pullback scalp. Looking over here at the daily entry for the day. There's no buy signal. There's not going to be any daily entry for the day here, or not daily, 1 hour entry. All right, we got a few minutes till 7. It looks like the market is starting to slow down a bit. So market is now starting to stabilize. At this point, we can start looking for some possible entries. So right now, we currently have a sell direction. And the reason for that is because we have a sell momentum right here. Price is below the pivots, trend meter is red, pivots are angling down. This indicates that we have a strong sell direction right now. In order for us to take entry, we need to get a buy signal to confirm the retracement and then another sell signal to confirm the continuation confirmation. So one of two things can happen. We get a buy signal, then a sell signal, we look for sells. In the other case, we can get a buy signal and price can push up to upper levels, right? If that's the case, then we can start looking for some buys. But right now, we're currently looking for some sells. So in order to get that, we need to get a confirmation of retracement, which would be a buy signal. And then from there, we need to see the correction back to the downside. Let's see. James said, hey, Sean, did you see top step change or consistency rule? It's 50%, not 30%. No, I haven't. Where did you see that at? Let's see. Oh, they emailed it. Okay. Gotcha. I'll check the email. Yeah, I actually did get the email. Or actually, let me see. It's probably my other account. Yeah, I actually didn't get the email, which is weird. I should have gotten the email. Oh, never mind. I see it. It's from Michael. Now past the trading combine as little as 2 days because we've increased it. Okay, I see it. Yeah, so with the consistency rule, I don't think it really makes a difference for us because we're not really going for those big swing trades. So yeah, it's not gonna make a difference. I mean, I make the same amount of profit every day, right? If I take one trade, I'm making about $1,000 to $2,000. So if I'm doing like one or two trades, I'm making like 1,500 per day, right? So if I'm doing that every day, my consistency is going to be around the same. So if you guys are taking the trades that we're taking here on the live sessions, you guys should have no problem reaching that consistency rule. That rule only applies to people who get lucky, right? So some people who want to just take crazy trades and they want to get lucky on like news or something like that, and they pass in one day. That's who it applies to because they don't want to be funding people who are getting lucky. They want people who are actually consistent and actually know how to trade. So I don't think it makes a difference with the for us specifically. I mean, it makes it easier for the people who are getting lucky, like those trades, because 30% was kind of hectic. It is kind of tough for people who like, because for some people, sometimes they'll have like small trades or they'll just have a small loss, and then one day they'll have a big win. For those people who trade like a 3-to-1 or a 5-to-1 risk reward. So yeah, I mean, it's not gonna make a difference for us, but yeah, thanks for the heads up, James. It actually makes it easier for people. So yeah, a lot of people, I like that Top Step are making a lot of these changes because it's forcing everybody else to follow, right? If you guys saw FTMO, they don't do, there's no trading limit anymore. MFF, there's no more trading limit. TFF, there's no trading limit. All these companies are starting to compete with Top Step because, I mean, they're basically pioneering the way for us because it's perfect. So we don't have, it's better for us that we're getting better terms. I think the next step for like FTMO and them is to allow people to trade directly on TradingView, right? The thing is, I don't think it'll ever happen with FTMO because FTMO is not a futures broker; they're a Forex broker. So with them, they would have to broker with one of these US30 companies. So I don't think they'll ever work with ACAP. I highly doubt it. They want to use their own servers. I don't think they'll work with any of these other companies. The only company I can maybe see them working with would be Owanda. But even then, I don't think I'd see them, or Pepperstone. I feel like these companies are too big. So if they work with FTMO, they're going to charge them like some crazy fees. And that's why FTMO doesn't want to work with them. Because, so for example, I know other people who own prop firms and they worked with ACAP. ACAP was charging them like almost $1 million a month for you guys, for these funding companies to use ACAP. Like some of the funding companies I know a couple owners of different funding companies, they're paying like, on the low end, they're paying like 100K to 300K a month just to use ACAP as a broker. So they're basically getting robbed, right? So I don't think FTMO will ever be on TradingView, unfortunately, unless like they use a broker that's supported by TradingView, which I doubt that'll ever happen. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't think FTMO will ever make it over here unless they yeah, Shannon said ACAP is the worst. Yeah, if you guys were with any other funding companies, a lot of funding companies were actually with ACAP. I think the funded trader was with ACAP before. That's why a lot of people didn't like the funded trader because their spreads and fees were like crazy high. So a lot of the funding companies don't work with ACAP anymore. They're basically like they were just sharking on like all these funding companies. Like if you guys saw a lot of those random funding companies that would open up, a lot of them were under ACAP. And they all sucked, right? Because execution times are horrible, spread was crazy, so the fees were crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. It's just a whole lot of stuff happening with that. Yeah, exactly. Dijon said they got to make up for all the money they were spending. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Shannon said FCFF, a whole lot of traders didn't get payouts. Yeah, they were actually FCFF, they were actually with ACAP before. So that was like one of the issues too. They were with ACAP, and the problem was ACAP was like not really like they kind of screwed it up for a lot of funding companies because I think like for their platform, they weren't charged, like some funding companies would like not charge commissions and stuff. And then that commission would get kicked back to the funding company. And then they would have to pay for those fees. And then, it became a mess. So I think there was like there was over 4 like big funding companies that were using ACAP initially. A lot of them don't use ACAP anymore. A lot of them are using a lot of smaller brokers. Let's see, iPhone's asking V1 pending. There's no overall bias right now, iPhone, so there's no V1s that you can take right now. Unless there's an overall bias, you can't really take a V1, right? Retail sentiment's bullish, fundamentals are neutral, short-term is bearish, long-term is bullish, neutral. So there's no V1s right now. I mean, technically, if you want to look for this as a V1 pattern, yeah, this would be a V1 pattern. It's a double body, but there's no overall bias right now. So there's no entry to take per se, because you need to have an overall direction. You need to have like an actual direction to be trading in, to be taking those V1s. So let's look at the fundamentals real quick. Fundamentals are down the middle again, so they're pretty much neutral. Retail sentiment is still down at 76. Yeah, so there hasn't been much of a change here. Price is kind of just going back and forth. Now that we have a sell signal right here, guys, we may have possible entry for a sell if price does provide opportunity for entry. So that V1 that you were talking about right here, iPhone, it did hit TP. So I mean, it was a V1 pattern, but it wasn't necessarily like a valid entry because there was no bias here for a sell. If there was a bias for a sell, then yeah, that'd be an entry. But yeah, exactly. iPhones, they didn't take it because of bias. Yeah, it's a little too risky when you don't have a direction. You obviously want to trade in a direction so that when you take that V1, you know, odds of price going in your direction is very likely. So as you guys can see the range over here, the range just got a bit tighter. All right, so price is pretty much ranging within this area right here. You guys can see where the range is happening. It's right down the middle right here. Price came down, and it's just ranging back and forth between this area. One of two things are going to happen. Price is either going to come up and continue up higher, or price is going to come down and continue down lower, right? Right now, we just don't have a direction. We need that sell signal in order for us to start looking for trades in that direction. So we need a sell signal here to actually close. I mean, realistically, if you look at where price is going, it's not going anywhere. It's just going sideways along these sessions right here. So we get that pending sell signal, but it doesn't actually close. Looking over here, clean this up a little bit. Yeah, I mean, price is pretty much just going sideways right here. If price pushes up and through it, then that's completely fine. We can probably start looking for some buys if that's the case too. But right now, we just don't have a confirmation of direction. You can see price is having trouble getting past this level right here. I mean, it spikes past it, but it hasn't actually closed past it. So let's see if this candle here actually closes or it just continues to come back down and consolidates. Yeah, Dejan said it looks like it may start consolidating here. Patricia said need this to push up or down out of this area. I agree, Patricia, 100%. That's basically what I'm looking for. If it pushes above, then great. We'll start looking for some buys because it's just going to correct back to where it's supposed to be, right? If it pushes down, then that's fine too. All right, so price pushed out of here. Let's see if it breaks and retest. So right here, broke past it. Let's see if it retests and then continues up. This is basically what I drew earlier. So I mentioned earlier, one of two things were going to happen, right? Price will break up to the upside, will break out to the downside. Price broke. Let's see if it retests and continues up higher. There goes a retest right there. Let's see. So price is retesting right here. We'll see if it bounces or if it continues to pull back down. Let's see, Visual said, hey, Sean, just to let you know on MFF, in order to get a full 100 pips profit, you have to put your limit profit to 118 pips. Okay. I figured that'd be the case, Visual. I mean, that sucks, huh? You got to add in an extra. I don't know if it's because of the spread or because you just need to catch, you just need some space for it to cover slippage, but thanks for the heads up, Visual. So Visual just said, you know, just a heads up to everybody. If you're trading on MFF and you want to get that full 18 or full 100 pips, you got to add on 18 to it. So instead of, I mean, you basically have to go for another point. So it seems like that might be a spread issue because maybe if that's the case, The spread's probably wider. It's like an extra, like right now on FTMO spread is 19. Probably on MFF spread is probably going to be like 20 or 30, which is actually really high for FTMO. That kind of spread is like Asia spread, right? Thanks for the heads up visual. I kind of had a feeling that was the case because we've always been like undercut, a couple $100. So I'm assuming it's either their execution time or their spread, but either or, you just got to add on a little more to your TP. So good to know. Thanks, Visual, for the heads up. All right, so price faked out. It pulled right back into the range over here. It didn't actually break through. So look at that break and retest that we were looking for right here. Price didn't actually continue up. Price pushed up, faked out right here, and it's back into the range down below, where it'll probably continue to go sideways. All right. So we just got to wait for the market to pick up. Hopefully it picks up soon. There's no news today, so there's no catalyst to really push price in either direction. There's no bias. Bias is kind of just neutral right now. So short term is now looking neutral. It's not even looking bearish anymore. So I'll put neutral there. Fundamentals are still pretty neutral, I'm assuming. 31 points. Sentiment over here, 76%. Man, it's just crazy how these advertisements work. I was looking at houses in Miami, and now they're giving me advertisements for homes in downtown Miami. It's crazy. I was looking at housing prices in Miami because I was curious, a lot of the big YouTube traders that live in Miami, I was curious like how much their houses cost, and they're actually cheaper than the houses out here. So I'm like, man, maybe I should move to Miami. I don't know if I could live out there though. It's a different lifestyle from what I've heard. Just living out there in general. Yeah, the houses out there, the houses in that range where like a lot of the YouTube traders live are around like a 2 mil range. Same as like where I'm living now. So it's pretty much the same thing. It's just, I think we have better weather here though. So I probably would want to stay here. But it's crazy how like these advertisements work. I didn't even like look at any of this stuff, and now I'm getting Miami advertisements. All right, so there's no confirmation of direction yet, guys. Price is still pushing up. So price may be pushing up, but we'll see. We need a confirmation of it to push away from this area. So basically we need that confirmation. It looks like it faked out twice. So price pushed up, faked out right here, came down, faked out again right here, and that's pushing right back up. I think the direction is going to be bullish today, guys. The sentiment is still very strong for a buy, so I think price will correct to the upside, and then it'll just keep pushing. It'll slowly push up, and then from there we'll have maybe possible opportunity for entry. So hopefully. Yeah, Daniel said it's crazy everywhere. And it really is. It's crazy, like all over the place. I don't know if Song's here. Like for you guys here who are local with me, one of the guys, Song, he sent me this house in like Anaheim. And out of all places, Anaheim, the house is like almost $1 million, and it's like super run down. It's probably on a big lot, but it's in a ghetto area because I know that area. Is Nathan here? Yeah, Nathan's here. Nathan's like on that ghetto side of like Anaheim, bro. Like near your kind of like where you're at, but like on the super ghetto side. All right, so we got price pushing up right here. This is perfect, exactly what we were looking for. We need price to kind of push through a little bit. Nathan said we're the prostitutes, right? Yeah, exactly. It's like it's in a random cul-de-sac. I think that's why it's expensive, because it's in a cul-de-sac, and it's kind of away from all that ghetto. Like it's just like one little house in the cul-de-sac, but it's in a hectic area. Yeah, so I probably won't be buying a house anytime soon. It's just not worth it. Let's see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. Gion said the 7 a.m. 1 hour entry hit. So there's no buy signal, Gion. I don't think there was an entry there. There's no buy signal here on the 1 hour. Same with the earlier one. So I looked at the 5 hour or the 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock. They would have hit the 7 o'clock over here. It would have hit if there was a buy signal on the 1 hour, but there was no buy signal there. Damn, this thing went into deep drawdown though, Gian. This thing went to like half drawdown and then it went up to TP. Sorry guys, I think price will continue pushing up. You can see the trend meter starting to change. It's now back to green, blue. What we need here is we need a retracement. So I need price to provide a sell signal right here. Once it provides that sell signal, I will start to look for possible entries. So we need a sell signal for the retracement. And then we can start looking. All right, so price pushed up right here. I mean, technically an entry could have been taken right here if you guys wanted like a later entry, because some of you guys have asked me this during the live session or during the mentoring session, like if the trend starts to shift, if you can take an entry. Technically, you can take an entry right here for the buy because the trend did shift. I mean, I wouldn't take it because I take one per momentum. So, I mean, and actually this would be the one per momentum right here because price did push down or price pushed up. Trend meter turned green, price was above the pivots. This right here retraced down and the entry would have been right there. So this would be the entry for this momentum right here, because you couldn't take any entries right here. But when price shifted over here and retraced down a little bit, that's where the trend started to shift right here, because now it's bullish, right? So what the direction was barely confirmed right here. This is where the direction for bullish direction has been confirmed. So at this point, this would be the entry that could have been taken. But again, today's Friday. I'm not looking to take any dumb risks, especially after we had a pretty good week. So I'm going to wait for the next entry here. But so again, this is a question that I get a lot during the mentoring session. If you get a momentum that's down here and the trend and everything starts to confirm over here, this would be your first entry right here. So say, for example, even for the sell, like for example, right here, price came down, right? And then it started to provide a downwards trend right here. When price pulled up at this point, the entry could have been taken right here as well. Because the thing is, the trend wasn't confirmed when this candle came up, but as price continued to move along, the trend did get confirmed. So price came down here. This would be the entry for the sell, even though the trend wasn't confirmed yet at the candle open for the momentum. You can take it a little later. Yeah, as you said, right back to open. Yeah, it's right back to the blue line right there. New York open price. Jean's no way I'd pay $1 million to go back to live where I grew up. Yeah, for sure not, Jean. Yeah, Daniel said the weather is better there, but nowhere as expensive as here. Yeah, I agree. 100%, Daniel. I agree. I don't think I'd be able to do Miami weather either, because the weather out there is kind of like I know people who live out there and they'll wash their car and it'll be super sunny, and then like an hour later it starts raining. It's crazy. Like it's super humid out there. At least here in California, the humidity is only for like a couple months. Crystal said not too much on Miami. No, Miami's it's a different place though. Maybe if I was younger, I'd live out there, but no. Crystal said Cali area is terrible. I mean, if you're in LA, it's terrible. That's why we never go to LA. I live in Orange County, so it's nice down here. I'm near the beaches, so it's the air here is perfect compared to LA. I don't even go to LA. I don't know why people go to LA. Like when people visit and they go to LA, it's just like they want to leave as soon as they get there. There's like nothing to do in LA anymore, guys. Like if you guys ever come to visit California, LA is not the tourist destination anymore. It's like homeless everywhere, and it's dirty, and it's not safe. Brian said go to Alaska. Let's see. Yeah, Vince hit OC all day. Crystal said I was in San Fran. Terrible weather, terrible food. Yeah, I wouldn't go to San Fran either. San Francisco and LA, like the whole northern side of LA of California, up from LA and higher, is just not it. I stay southern, so I stay here in Orange County, and then I also go down to San Diego from time to time. He said nobody moved to San Diego, right? All right, guys, we're going on kind of off topic, but don't worry, we're not missing out on any entries here. There's nothing for us to take. As you can see, price is still pushing up, and it's kind of just it's kind of just going back and forth. I mean, there's not really too much going on here. Daniel said hot, and you get a lot of swamp ads. You know, right? You guys got alligators out there. It's crazy. All right, guys. So there's still no entries for us here. I'm looking for the retracement. So I'll just give you guys another rundown of what we're looking for here. We're looking for a sell signal to confirm retracement. Once we get that retracement, we're looking for another buy signal for price to confirm the direction of a buy here, which I mean, we already knew price was going to be bullish. So from this morning, we already knew that the price was going to go up because of the bias, right? If you guys remember from market open, bias was very strong for a buy. It just started shifting down as market open. It just kind of faked out a little bit, try to give some of these sellers some hope that price is going to come down, but realistically, price is not coming down. It's going to keep going up. Fundamentals are now up 80 points. So I'm going to say bullish neutral over here. It's up 80 points. Looking over here at sentiment is down 76. It keeps shifting. It goes from 76 to 77. So I'm not going to make any changes there. Technicals over here are now bullish again. So you can see over here on the shorter time frame, it's back to bullish. So again, we're back to a bullish bias. It's not super, I mean, it's pretty strong now, but I don't know how long it'll hold for. So we want some sort of retracement here so that we can look for entry. But again, it's just, it is just going sideways. All right, guys. Now it's back to the waiting game here. The volatility is not very high. It kind of slows down a bit, but we do need that sell signal. So if you guys are waiting for something here, the thing that we're waiting for is a sell signal. That sell signal is going to confirm the retracement. And then we can start looking for some possible entries right here. The volatility is very low, so it's not a big deal. We don't really want to be trading when volatility is this low anyways. Price already broke past this level. So as you guys can see, price is now back up to here. I think what might happen is price might reject off these areas here. We'll get that retracement, and then hopefully we'll catch the correction back to the upside from there. But I mean, we'll see. But this here is a clean chart. You know, we still haven't hit that weekly liquidity yet. So, yeah, so liquidity down below already hit down here, full TPs on both of those. Price is pushing back up to the upside. So if it goes higher, the weekly liquidity is still sitting right there, guys. So we still have a lot of opportunity right here for price to really push through. Again, as you guys look over here, price is just overextended again. So price was overextended to the downside. So you can see how price pushed down from here. It was down about 1,500 pips. And then from this level now, so I think price will probably retrace down soon, because you can see it's overextended again from this point right here. Price is overextended about 1,400 pips. So it just went overextended both ways. You can see over here, price overextended to the downside. It finally reversed, price came up. Now we're looking for the retracement here. All right, perfect. We're starting to get a red candle right here. It's not a red candle for entry, but it's a red candle for retracement. All right, so we still need to wait for that sell signal. I'm just waiting for that sell signal to come up. Once it comes up, then hopefully we can start looking for some stuff here. Here's some profits from Kenny this morning. Kenny took the liquidity earlier for the sell, and then he caught the correction back to the upside right here. Kenny's up 3,000 for the day, all wins. So nice work right there, Kenny. So great work right there by Kenny. Let's see, we've got Chrissy over here. So Chrissy locked in a total profit of about well over 100 for those liquidity pushes down below. So she took some sells earlier for that liquidity. Made about 100 from those trades. She took some buys over here, total profit of, let's see, well over 200. So some more trades over there from Chrissy, 200 on that. Here's her other trades, took a total profit of, let's see, about 150 right here. Nice work right there, Chrissy. And then her last trades over here, she made about 150 as well. So nice work, Chrissy. All right, so we got that pending sell signal right there, but we need it to close. So just a reminder, guys, we need that sell signal to close. Once we get that sell signal, we need a buy signal to confirm the continuation to the upside. And then from there, we can start looking for entries, right? It's just going to be a matter of time until that happens. But right now, we're just waiting. So, all right, pending sell signal right there. We got about 20 seconds left. Here's Stern's profits for the day so far. Stern locked in 739 on his first account and a total profit of 724. So nice work, guys. A lot of you guys are taking trades just based off the analysis. You guys are taking the V1 patterns and stuff like that. So you guys are doing pretty solid for the most part. All right, we have a sell signal right here confirming the retracement. We now need a buy signal to confirm the confirmation of continuation to the upside. Let's see, one more profit over here from David. Yeah, good to see you back here, David. I haven't seen you here in a while. So David's back here, his first trade back, locked in a total profit of about 50 for the day. So nice work, David. Yeah, no, it's good to see a lot of you guys, a lot of your old faces. I know some of you guys get busy with life, get busy with work, etc. But yeah, bro, you guys are always welcome back. You know, when you guys decide to return in the future. We've got Andrew over here just sent in some profits. Andrew locked in a total profit of 1,620 for his Top Step account. Nice work, Andrew. Solid work right there. It's about 2 trades, or 1 trade actually. 1 trade with a bigger push. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So Andrew said he made his profit. This is on his Top Step. Now he's switching to demo. So that's a key thing, guys. If you guys are happy with your profits for the day, you guys can switch from your regular account to a demo account. Because I see a lot of people, they'll profit on their real account and then they'll just keep trading even though they know they shouldn't. And then they'll end up losing all that profit. So if you're like Andrew here and your problem is, you know, staying consistent, or you get FOMO, or you get revenge trade, you want a revenge trade, just switch to a demo account. It's not that difficult. Like if you go over here to TradingView, I have my TraderBait logged in, just log out of that and you go to your paper account right after. Super simple and super straightforward. All right, this thing is dumping pretty hard right now. You know, this is such a weird market. It's dumping super hard, but there's not really news causing price to really dump like that. It's kind of just we'll see. Let's just read the news for today. Let's see what they say. So Friday will be an active day on Wall Street with major index overhaul and options expiration. Okay, so this is probably why the market's so crazy right now, because of the major index overhaul and the options expiration. So it says 2 structural shifts for Wall Street on Friday could cause a spike in market volatility on the final day of the trading week. One notable event is the expiration of thousands of option contracts on stocks, indexes, and ETFs. While trading volume has been light in July, option exposure is still strong relative to past summers. So this is why we're getting a lot of movement this summer compared to last summer. Because if you guys remember last summer, it was slow. A lot of option contracts are starting to expire today. That's why you're getting a lot of this crazy movement here. A lot of people who are trading options are getting, I mean, it's a trip. If you guys have traded options before, you guys could be holding on to that option contract for like a whole week or a whole month. And then at the last day or last couple of minutes, the market just goes crazy because a lot of people are trying to get out of their position, or they're trying to push price in their direction. So, I mean, if you guys have traded options before, that's why I don't like trading options. I prefer to trade just the the spot movement. Because if I know price is going up, I'm going to take buys, right? If I know price is going down, I'm going to take sells. But you can flip a lot of money trading options. So I can see why people like trading options. I personally don't like it. It's because the thing is, if you know price is going down already for your option contract, why don't you just take the sell, right? Versus holding on to a position and then praying that it stays below, like below that point once it gets to expiration or close to it. Yeah, I mean, you can leverage a lot more money trading options because you can get in at like a crazy price and then expect price to be somewhere at some point. Yeah, Andrew said options is like betting on horses. Yeah. Like the main way that options were traded, like how they're actually traded in the market by like, institutions and stuff, they're used as a hedge. The problem is a lot of people like to trade options like they're a directional asset, but they're not really directional. It's more of a hedge. So like say, for example, and I'll show you guys like how I would trade an option. So say, for example, here I'm taking a sell, right? Say I'm taking a sell right here, and then I'll buy an option contract at the strike price, like right here, where I made my entry, right? So either way, if price goes down, I make money on the direction. If price goes up, I make money on the option. So it's basically, I make a little profit in between that spread. And that's how options are supposed to be traded. But people don't trade it like that. A lot of people trade it as a directional move. So that's why a lot of people get sucked into it. And it's crazy. I mean, it's just, now there's funding companies, so people don't even need to do options. The reason why people did options in the past was because they didn't have enough money to trade the spot. But now that there's all these funding companies, you can trade spot with as little as like, $100. So that's just my experience. I traded options way back, I think like 10 years ago when I first started trading. I made some money off options, but I also lost a lot of money too. All right, this market is garbage. So we're going back down below, guys. If this is the case right here, I mean, there's not really a big deal. We could still look for sells here, but I mean, it's not really smooth, as you guys can tell. I was hoping we'd have a continuation to the upside. I mean, we might get a continuation, but thanks, Maddie. So Maddie said it's 78% short right now. So I think price will correct back up. I think it'll just keep going up. The sellers right now are just, they're like really banking on this right now. Yeah, Maddie said they're lowering in sellers. So earlier it was 76%, now it's 77. A few moments ago it was 78%. It seems like, yeah, they are lowering in some sellers right here. Let's take a look at the overall bias again. I mean, it's tough because the thing is you can probably look for some V1 variations, but it's kind of tough here because the shorter time frames here are still, I mean, they're neutral bearish. Higher time frames here are still bullish, but they're like more of a flat bullish. Fundamentals are, I mean, they're pretty flat. There's just no bias right now. So it's hard to take. The only bias we have is the sentiment right here. But the problem with taking these V1 variations is that unless your stop loss is wide enough, you can get caught in a nasty move. In my opinion, it's just going to be tough. Guys, let me see. If you're to take a V1 variation somewhere here, I mean, it's not horrible. You could probably go for 300 pips, but it's a little risky. There's a possible V2 variation right here if this candle closes, strong, of course. So there could be a possible V2 variation here if the candle closes strong. There'd have to be like little or no wick on top. The wick there was a little too big. Possible pivot scalp here. This market is just, it's all over. I think price will push up though. So I think price will push up, but I mean, it's just It's just a matter of time until it does push up. Sorry, guys. I took that V2 earlier. So I didn't want to tell you guys I was in the position because I phoned into that move. My phone was starting to kick in. You guys can tell. I made full TP on that trade, but I wasn't going to tell you guys to take a trade there. I actually got a really good position. I forgot to set a TP, so I had to close that manually. I was trying to enter the V2 here because this candle was very high and there was like no wick. And then when it got down to the last 3 seconds, I entered, and I know I shouldn't have entered because I had to wait for the candle to close. So my FOMO kind of kicked in right here. I entered for a V2 variation right here. It wasn't a V2 variation, but I thought it was going to. The thing is, the candle just came down at the last second, and then I entered right here for a quick profit. So that trade's not going to count, guys. That was my bad. That was a horrible trade. I shouldn't have taken it, but I did make profit on it. So here, I'll take a oh, never mind. There's no point in me screenshotting it because there's no actual entry there. But I will post my profits. Those profits are not going to count towards the results. Only results are going to be for the results are only going to be for the official entries. So today, no trades yet. But man, I was kind of sweating there for a second for that V2 that closed right here. It's just such an unpredictable market right now. Okay, we have a buy signal here coming up. I'm going to screenshot my profits so far for the day. C6, that slippery finger, Sean. Yeah, no, my finger, I clicked that before I even closed. And I never do that. That's how I know my phone was starting to kick in pretty bad. So again, we're just waiting for this here. So here are my profits. I made 2,000, and I'll take another screenshot of it. The individual accounts. Man, this market's just frustrating. Like even for me, because I missed those liquidity pushes earlier. I missed the other earlier sell. I just missed a lot of trades today that could have been taken, but it was all based off like, you know, it was all based off my, and I missed the 1 hour entry yesterday. So I just missed a bunch of entries. The FOMO was just building up from yesterday. I've been on the charts since Asia's session yesterday. I missed a bunch of trades because I just wasn't feeling comfortable. And then today, obviously, I FOMO'd into this move here. I made pretty good profit on it, though. It's like the one time MFF actually gave me full profit on this move. Let's see, MFF gave me 1,080. Yeah, C6 said we missed a lot of trades all day long, so it's all right. Better to get into the absolutes. Yeah, 100%. So basically what we're looking for right here, guys, is we're looking for a buy signal. We don't have that buy signal yet. That's the main thing we're looking for here. Once we get that, we can look for a possible entry, but till then, it's just going to be a waiting game. All right, so for that V2, well, it wasn't even a V2, but basically the V2 that I was looking to enter, here are my profits for that trade. Here's my main FTMO account. I locked in 2,360. I forgot to set a TP. I just kind of entered it, and then I closed out manually. So I locked in 2,360 off my first FTMO account. Here is my FTMO number 2 count, total profit of 2,660. And then here are my MFF accounts down here, locking 1,080, 1,080. 1,080. Like the one time that I take a trade that's not actually a trade, MFF finally gives me the full TP on that one. But the thing is, I did let it run a little longer. So this probably went past it. This probably went in line with what Visual said earlier, because Visual mentioned that you have to go for a higher TP to get that full profit, and that's kind of what happened here, right? I just manually closed it out, and then I made profit on it. So the reason why I was confident about this entry right here and I FOMO'd into it was because the overall bias has been bullish. So this is why it's key that you guys have a bias and a direction to trade in, because even if you make a mistake, like for example, here, I made a horrible mistake here. There's no entry there. I just entered, but the candle came down and it still hit my TP without any problems, right? Or it hit my profit where I was aiming for without any problems. So, just for future reference, guys, whenever you guys trade, have some sort of bias. It doesn't have to be my bias. I just have some sort of bias. Be trading in one specific direction, and then feel confident about your moves. Because even if you make a mistake like I did here, you can still make profit on it. Made a huge mistake, but I still profited pretty nicely. Thankfully, because if not, this would have ruined my entire weekend. No, I'm just kidding, it wouldn't. I'm not really emotional with my trades, guys. You guys know that. I'm like kind of like whatever about everything, really. If I win, I'm kind of like whatever about it. I'm happy for a little bit, but I'm like whatever. If I lose, I understand that losses are part of the game. So that's how you guys have to approach the market, so that you guys don't really make bad decisions trading. All right, so we do have the buy signal right here, guys. We need price to actually push above though. So we need price to push up a bit slightly. And then once it pushes up, we'll look for that retracement and possible entry. The problem with price right now is that it's barely moving. We typically don't want to trade when price is going sideways like this. So we actually need price to push out pretty far. Not super far, but it needs to push out pretty far, like maybe up to here. So we can take entry at this level right here. Because if not, then it's just going to stick down here and it's not going to be beneficial for us at all. So we actually need price to push away from this area right here. It's stuck within this area. We need price to push away. Here is the clean chart. This is what I'll do. I'll make some adjustments over here. This is the new high. I guess we just leave that up right there. All right, so price is finally pushing up slightly. If this is the case, then we'll look for retracement. Possible entry will happen right here at the 50 mark. Price needs to push up a bit more. Still too close. All right, if this closes below here, I'm not going to enter from down below. I need price to actually push up a little higher. Yeah, exactly. Martha said that's exactly what I was thinking. I can't find bias, so I will bow out. Have a great weekend, guys, working on this discipline. Yeah, definitely, Martha. So Martha's going to wrap it up for the week. If you guys are okay with your profits for this week so far, I mean, you guys can just wrap it up as well. You don't have to keep trading. Just keep that in mind, guys. I'm going to keep looking for entries here, but if we don't find anything, there's no reason to force it. Today's Friday, so if you guys are familiar with like how the market works during the week, Fridays and Mondays are the riskier days to trade. Fridays because people are exiting the market, so you get some unusual movement. Also today, there's some heavy behind the scenes movement with the options market that's causing price to kind of spike around and be a bit volatile. And then Mondays, of course, are risky because people are re-entering the market from the weekend. So today is considered a risky day of trading, guys. If you guys want to keep trading, feel free. I'll be on here for the next 20 minutes or so. But if you're happy with your profits for the week so far, guys, I would just wrap it up personally, because there's no need to, like, if you're already in profit for this week, there's no need to force another trade today, right? I mean, it's okay to like keep taking trades, but not necessarily on a risky day where you can easily make a mistake. Like, for example, I made a mistake today already, so I don't know if I want to take another trade, but if anything, I'll probably take this on my top step because I haven't taken any trades on my top step yet. So, hey, Barack, how's it going? Looks like you made it here just in time. There's no entries yet, no official entries, so I think you're good right now, Barack. Maybe you can catch this one entry with us here. All right, so we got price retracing right here. If it retraces, entry would be right here at the 60 mark. So we just need a red candle. If we get a red candle, it's going to be at that 60 mark right there. And then, I mean, if not, price will continue pushing up and it will have a higher point of entry. So we got 27 seconds left. All right, no retracement right there, at least not yet. Let's see, Crystal said, I think I'm good for the day. Gonna go play my PS5. I deserve it. Had a great trading week. Yeah, no, definitely, Crystal. Crystal said, have a great weekend, everyone. And don't forget to go watch the Barbie movie. I don't know, I gotta go to a Barbie theme brunch tomorrow. Where's Mike? Are you here, Mike? Mike, you're here, bro. You better be dressed up tomorrow for that, for Sharon's birthday. I got the outfit for tomorrow, bro. You better be dressed up. You're the one that came up with the idea. Yeah, but no, yeah, Crystal said, don't forget to watch the Barbie movie. Yeah, you too, Kevin. Kevin's here as well. So Kevin, you guys better come dressed up. I better not be the only guy dressed up in theme for the party tomorrow. Yeah, Kevin and Michael. All right, so we got possible entry right here, guys, at the 60 mark. So don't worry, guys, I'm still paying attention. All right, so entry would be technically right there. I'll put a pending order right there at the 60 mark. I'll see if price comes down and fills my order. If not, completely fine. All right, Chris, we'll see you there. See you later. All right, so we got a possible entry right here, guys, at the 50 mark. Oh, sorry, 60 mark. If it doesn't come down and fill, that's completely fine. We'll continue to make adjustments here. So if price pushes up higher, we'll have another opportunity for entry if it does pull back to a different level. Right now, we currently still have this pending order right here at the 60 level. We'll see where this ends up going. Man, this volatility is just dead right now. It's 7:44 right now, so we have about 15 minutes till 8, guys. Hopefully the volatility picks up or it moves to some extent. If it doesn't, then we're not going to force anything here, of course. If price pushes up higher right here, if it goes past this higher high, then we have to reset. Okay, so it pushed up past that higher high. Now we have to reset for the, or I mean, I guess we could still wait from where it's currently at. But if it continues to push up higher from where it's currently at, I'm going to have to cancel this order because our entry would have to be a bit higher. So we'll see where this ends up going. There's not really much happening here. Price just keeps going back and forth. Right, so price didn't really push up higher. This lower level is still going to be the opportunity, the key level for entry here, because these candles right here retrace. It's still at this point here. All right, if this doesn't fill by in the next couple of minutes, I'm just going to cancel it. Because the last thing I want to do is be holding on to this position and then price just goes sideways for the next 10, 20 minutes or so. Okay, see if it fills. All right, I canceled my order, guys. There's a pending sell signal right there. I'm not going to risk it. So I canceled my order right there. If you guys want to hold on to it, feel free, but I just don't like the way the market's moving right here. So I'll follow it and we'll see if it pushes through. Unfortunately, it looks like we're not going to have any entries for today, guys. It's going to get close to 8 o'clock. It's just a crazy market. It's not the type of market that you want to trade in. So as you guys can see, I canceled my order just like Andrew did too. I just don't think it was worth the risk. Yeah, it looks like everybody canceled their order. So we'll follow it. I think it filled. I don't know if it filled yet or it's about to fill. So the reason why I also canceled it was because, okay, so the order is technically filled now at this point. Yeah, exactly. Sisu said he saw the sell signal and he was like, nope. Yeah, so that was my thing too. When I saw that sell signal come up, I was like, no, I'm gonna cancel this because if I end up holding on to it, I'm gonna have to close out for a small loss anyways if that sell signal closes. So technically, if the sell signal closes, you have to close out for a small loss. That's just the rule, right? That's what we have to follow to be able to minimize your losses here. Technically, the trade's still running, so we're following it right here. But if the sell signal does close, you guys are technically supposed to close it. You don't have to close it, but if you're following the strategy as it's applied, you'd have to close it for a small loss, which would be like, 5 points, which is nothing. So, I mean, we'll continue to follow this, but again, I'm not in this position. I don't think anybody's in this position right now. It looks like everybody canceled it. Natasha said she didn't take it either. It's just a crappy market for a Friday. So, all right, we'll follow this right here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. There's just nothing for us to take right now. Unfortunately, the market volatility has died down quite a bit. There's a lot of like behind the scenes market movement that's going on due to the options market and the index overhaul that they were mentioning. I think they might be shifting stocks within the index. Let me check real quick. Yeah, so it says over here, other major changes is a special rebalance of NASDAQ. So they're going to be changing the indexes inside NASDAQ. You guys can see NASDAQ has been getting destroyed all week. It was down like, I think 100 or 200 points a couple of days ago. So they're going to be shifting out the stocks within the NASDAQ 100. They're not necessarily going to be switching up US30, but a lot of the stocks that are going to be swapped out of NASDAQ, if they're in US30, it's going to affect the market, of course. Yeah, it says a rally of largest tech stock names this year, such as Microsoft and NVIDIA, has caused concern that the stock market is too concentrated in just a handful of names. Yeah, so they're going to be switching out some of these stocks here. So just keep that in mind. So the trade's still technically running. If you guys are in the position, the trade's still technically running. We're going to continue to follow it, but I'm not in the position. So we'll see what happens here. Let's see. Daniel said, have a great weekend, everyone. Have fun being Ken for the day. All right, Daniel, we'll see you back here on Monday, man. Have a great weekend. Ben Harwick said, thanks, Sean. See you next week. Have a great weekend. Definitely Ben Harwick. We'll see you back here on Monday. C6 leaving too. All right, C6, you too. I'll see you back here on Monday. Casey said, keeps bouncing off sessions, risky spot to look for pullbacks. Yeah, I agree 100%, Casey. Like, I didn't even, like, it's like right there, right? The purple line. Yeah. There's just too many areas here that are inopportune, right? They're not areas where you want to be taking trades. It's also right at the opening price too, right here, the blue line. I mean, not to say it's not going to hit TP. I think it'll still hit TP, but I'm not going to be the one that's going to be sweating over this trade. This trade's already been running for too long. So this trade filled over here. It's been running for like about 5-6 minutes now. This is way too long to be holding a scalp. These scalps should be hitting right away. The volatility is just way too low. So definitely not a good trade to be holding right now. Dejan said front row seats to Oppenheimer. Happy weekend. Definitely, Dejan. I need to see that movie too, Oppenheimer. It's one of the movies on my list. All right, 750 right now. I guess we'll just continue hanging around for a couple of minutes. We'll see if this here closes. I'm just curious to see how it plays out. I think it'll hit TP, but again, it's just too risky. And then if a sell signal comes up, you technically have to close out for a loss. I know some people don't follow that, but it's better to cut your losses or take your profits early rather than having to eat this whole loss down here, right? So again, if you guys are just joining the room or if you guys are not familiar with this position right here, I'm not in this position. We're just following it here because this was technically the entry that we were going to take. However, I canceled it because there was a pending sell signal that came up and it was just a sideways movement. So if this candle here closes with a sell signal, technically you're supposed to close out for a small profit. You guys don't have to. Again, it's optional. But for me personally, I found that closing your losses early will give you better opportunity to recover that loss in the next trade. Because typically, if you close early, you're down usually like only 100 pips, and then the next trade will bring you back into profit. So I'm super glad that we didn't take this trade, guys, because as you guys can see right here, very, very unpredictable. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing spikes all the way back up and hits the TP, but I'm not in the position, so I don't really have any skin in the game right now with regard to this position that's currently running. It's just a messy market. Today's been, I mean, this whole week's been kind of messy. There wasn't too much news. Next week, guys, it's Fed week, so we're expecting a lot of movement tomorrow, or not tomorrow, next week. So next week on Monday, we have flash manufacturing PMI and flash services PMI, basically inflation news tomorrow at 6:45, a few minutes after market open. So we'll have some pretty nice volatility once it hits 7 and we start looking for our momentum pullback scalps. Again, over here, we have on Tuesday, we have some news here, HPI month over month, S&P CS composite, HPI year over year. Then we have CB consumer confidence, more inflation news, and Richmond manufacturing index, also inflation news. On Wednesday, we have Fed Day. We have the Fed statement, federal funds rate. This is a big day for us next Wednesday, Fed press conference. A lot of stuff happening. It's going to be after the live session, but it's going to be affected all throughout the day. So just keep that in mind. We also have new home sales at 7 o'clock, crude oil inventories again. Thursday, we have advanced GDP, quarter over quarter, unemployment claims, advanced GDP price index, quarter over quarter, durable goods orders, month over month, durable good orders, month over month, goods trades balance, prelim wholesale inventories, month over month. A lot of news here on Thursday, pre-market. Then we have pending home sales at 7, natural gas storage. So yeah, as you guys can see, I mean, I just read off stuff from like Monday to Thursday. There's a ton of news going on next week. So we're gonna get a lot of volatility. And then on Friday, we're closing it off with some core PCE price index, employment cost index, quarter over quarter, personal income, personal spending, again, inflation and recession news right there. Plus UOM, the revised UOM consumer sentiment. So that was just a tongue tie. That was a mouthful right there. A lot of news pretty much Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every day. But all right, guys, the trade's still technically running. If you guys want to continue following it, feel free. I'm just going to wrap it up. I don't think there's any point for us to just sit around and wait for this. I think this is just going to give people FOMO, and I don't want people to enter this trade late right here because now it's back at opening price. So I think it's best for us to just wrap this up. Hopefully nobody's in this position. If you guys are in this position, I'm hoping that you guys close out with profit before you wrap it up. So we have Gian over here. He said he's done for the day. Total profit of 2,040. Nice work, Gian. We've got Casey over here. So we got Kip. Kip over here finally on his top step. Took one trade, total profit of 900. Nice work, Kip. And I think Kip has a second account over here, total profit of 650. Nice work, Kip. So both of his top step accounts all wins for the day. That's what I like to see. I like seeing this green here on the chart on the performance tab. If you guys see that, I feel it looks a lot better than FTMO, but I mean, it's cool. I like seeing all the green there. So nice work right there. And Kip's got 100% margin available. He's up 3,153 on this account. So he's almost to his goal there. And then again, right here, up 3,691. So great work right there, Kip. We also have Brock here. Brock said no trades for the day. Yeah, no trades is a good day, guys. So just keep that in mind. It doesn't matter if you guys take a trade or not. If you guys are not in the negative, I mean, that's the key thing. So it looks like the trade here is about to hit. Yep. Full TP right there. So if you guys took the entry right here, you guys can see it was, I knew this trade was going to hit. It was just a risky trade. It went deep into drawdown, but then it shot right back up. Like I mentioned, I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if this shoots right back up from where it currently is. And that's exactly what happened. Price went straight up to TP. So a bunch of fake outs right here, but the trade did hit full TP. So if you guys took it, great work. If you guys did it is all right. It's Friday. So let's wrap it up, guys. Definitely, Vince. I'm going to try not to do that. Not like last time. But all right, guys, have a great weekend. Be safe. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'll see you guys back here on Monday for market open. All right, guys. See you.